But I have to tell you, doing business not on time, too early, doesn't make you money.
If success had a tagline, what's yours?
You know, being an entrepreneur is always hard to say no.
After how long you had that moment when you start asking the questions to yourself? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum Lumis. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us back here. So happy to be back in our space and with our friends here. Thank you so much for coming. And today we are going to talk about something that I believe is very close to our heart, but we don't often really talk about it. So we often hear about people who build things, companies, careers, also legacies. But what about the moment that didn't work out? Today, I'm grateful to sit with Ibu Shinta Dhanuwardoyo. Is one of those rare minds, a pioneer in tech, but also a woman who chose over fate over fame, and alignment over applause in a world that rewards visibility. We are going to talk about failure. Assalamualaikum, Bu Shinta. How are you?
I'm good, thank you
Alhamdulillah.
for having me.
Thank you so much for
It's
coming.
an honor to be here
Of course,
with everybody.
yeah. So we are going to talk about something that people don't often talk about or
Yes.
want to discuss it more. Today at Luminihsan, we'll talk about what we don't often see, the kind of failure that doesn't break you, but builds you.
Yes.
Rewriting failure, what if it was part of the plan? So, Bu Shinta, we heard about you a lot, and you always had a steady rhythm. And even in fast-changing spaces, let's begin there. At 10, what was your dream job?
At 10, my dream job, you know, like 10 years old usually goes, I want to become a doctor, right?
Okay.
At that time, at that era, becoming a doctor, becoming a architect. Yeah, so that's part of the young kid dream in that era. I'm not talking about today, but during my time.
Okay. So
Yes.
what is changing along the way?
Along the way, well, actually, I've always loved design, art. I like to draw. So my undergraduate study was in architecture.
Okay.
So I took architecture, but actually I wanted to take fashion design, but my dad said, no, take something else, you know, do something that is like you can bring a lot of impact to a lot of people. So I was thinking, okay, I still like to draw, so I took architecture. And then it was a 5 years long school. But then after that, I realized that I'm always interested with business. I tried to read business magazine, and there's a lot of terms that I don't understand. So after I was done with my architecture school, I asked my dad if I can take my master in business. And so he said, you took 5 years already in architecture, so if you want to do business school afterwards, do find some kind of a like scholarship. Because I have 3 younger brothers still.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the eldest, and I'm the only girl, and I have 3 younger brothers. So my dad said, yeah, we still need to support your brothers as well. So what I did was I find some kind of a scholarship when I was wanting to take my MBA. And it happened that the school that I went to have this program where if you work at a computer lab, you get your tuition paid and some salary.
Okay.
So it just happened that during my architecture, I was able to use computer. At that time, it was called Macintosh. I don't know if anybody knows what. So now everybody knows how old I am. So Macintosh, we use Macintosh to start drawing. That was the end of my 5th year of architecture. So that's how I got the part to become the supervisor of the computer lab, because I had that experience of using Macintosh. But, you know, actually that was the moment where I thought I'm going to become an architect, built my own firm. I fell in love with internet at that time because I work at the computer lab. I learned about the internet.
Okay.
94.
Wow. Okay.
There you go.
Wow. So basically, you start early in the digital world.
Yes.
And long before it became mainstream.
Yes.
What made you stay curious?
Well, when I learned about the World Wide Web, which is the internet, that was called, it was just amazing. Like I thought, like this is something that is a game changer. There's definitely like it's not going to be something small. I believe that from day one. So from that, I decided like I want to know more about the internet, and I believe that curiosity is also we're obligated to seek knowledge, right? As part of being an Islam in Islam that we have to seek knowledge, we have to keep on learning.
Sure.
So because I believe that at that time that internet can change more than just being a media, but it can even shape humanity. That's how I believe from day one. Because what happened was actually I taught myself how to create a website through the internet at that time.
Wow.
And there was no word e-learning at that time.
Wow. So basically you learned by yourself.
Yeah. Autodidact.
And then the driven came from the curiosity that you have. That's amazing.
And the belief that it's going to be something huge.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I heard that. So what have you learned about not building something, even when you had the resources or opportunity to?
Being an entrepreneur is always hard to say no. We have to learn to say no because, we are wired to create. So we always have like new ideas and we want to like take all opportunities. But at the end of the day, I learned that you cannot just do everything because you have to ask like, if we do this, will it serve a certain purpose that, what is our mission, right? So it happened. I mean, a lot of time I have like so much opportunities. Like for instance, right in front of my eyes, there's funding is there, the team is assembled, and market is hot. But then I decided to back away because I have to question myself, like, is this aligned with what I want to do? Like, will it, the purpose, is it what is it the same as aligned to what I asked to do? Yeah.
After how long you had that moment when you start asking the questions to yourself?
Like everything is a journey. Yeah, you have to learn. In the beginning, of course, as an entrepreneur, you always think that you have to deal everything by yourself. But at the end of the day, you learn that having a great team is the key. And making everyone, not only yourself, a hero is the key as well.
Yeah.
So that one takes a journey. I started entrepreneurship when I was 28. Maybe like after a lot of burns out and everything, then I realized like, it takes a journey. But maybe like the first 5 years, I was trying to do everything by myself. But,
wow. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned, I like that when you said that everyone not supposed not to be a hero. We have to realize about that. But these days we realize in a world full of pressure, especially in digital media and social media things, that we're willing to constantly post something, produce, and be seen. What would you say to us here, especially to young Muslim women out there who want to live intentionally online?
Okay. Again, come back and ask yourself, when you post something, will it inspire others? Will it bring impact as well to others? And, you need to post not out of pressure, but rather out of like purpose. So you have to keep that in mind because, nowadays, everybody is flexing on the internet, on the social media. Yeah. But will that, bring any good to anyone? So for me, it's like you don't need to post a lot. You don't need to be pressurized. Like have that anxiety that you have to post certain things, certain hour every day or whatever. But come back to yourself and ask whether you're posting something that align to yourself, give impact to others, and it's like the purpose that what you're meant to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, we have to start to ourselves
Yeah.
without asking the question:
Yes.
Is it purposeful,
Yeah.
aligned with my purpose, especially to please Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, as we are as a Muslim? That's the biggest question that we need to ask ourselves.
Yeah.
So, what's something you had to let go of? It's not because it failed, but because it no longer aligned with who you were becoming.
I think one of the things that like I mentioned earlier is the fact that in the beginning when I was starting building companies, I was taking all the responsibility on my shoulder. Everything like, oh yeah, I have to be the one closing the deals. I have to be the one making sure all the clients are taken care of. But at the end of the day, you have to let go. Yeah, that's when tawakkul comes, right?
Yeah,
We have to surrender because, again, like I said, I realized that team is really important. You have to make others also seen, not yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And only that at that moment, then you realize that you can actually do anything.
Yeah, true.
Yes. You don't have to do everything by yourself because, you get so stressed at the end, right?
True.
But it's actually the stress that you make yourself. Yeah, not because like why do you have to listen or be afraid that what other thinks of you? Because at the end of the day, you're only between yourself and Allah, right? So just like I said, come back to yourself and what is it that your mission to do? What is it that you want to do, and what is it that align with yourself?
So, Bu Shinta, basically, you mentioned that it's okay to not always counting in ourselves only, to not put lots of pressure to ourselves, so we become less stressful. To find the alignment. Was it hard?
Was it hard to find?
Was it hard to let go of things and the alignment process? Was it hard for you?
Well, like I said, it's a journey. I mean, we went through a lot. I mean, like we have to go through a lot. For me, as an entrepreneur, I think failures is part of the journey. If you don't fail, I don't think you're, a good entrepreneur maybe. Because I myself invest in startups, and I do invest in startups who had failed in the past. So it doesn't matter. For me, doing something that failed in the past is part of your process to grow. Because without that, we cannot be where we are today.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a journey you have to go through, and it's not quick.
Yeah.
It's not something you can do in few months.
True.
Yeah, and actually, that what can make you grow and become a better person, a better entrepreneur, a better whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
Julie.
To better,
Yes.
to become a better version of ourselves.
Yes.
And so basically, we agree that the road of alignment wasn't smooth at all. It took a lot of journey works, failures, again and again. But sometimes it's failure that brings the deepest clarity.
Yes.
So can you share a moment in your life when something didn't go as a plan, and at the time you consider as a failure, and how did that moment shape you or shift the way you're thinking? And now it becomes a very, it's like a strong weapon for you now.
Yes. So in the back days in 2002, 2003, it was in the world there was like what you call the .com boom, right? In Indonesia, we also like got so excited with that era, and we started building a lot of platforms. Basically, we built nasgor.com, which was an entertainment portal. We built corridor.com, which was a news portal, it was political news portal. We even created a mailkita.com, which was giving free email. So it was like, we've done everything basically, like, and then we did even musikkita.com, was like a music portal. Because, you know, in the US, in the other part of the world, everybody was doing .com. So, and you know, my story's always been too early. I'm too early for everything. So at that time, 2002, we start building a platform, website, which is a portal. We call it portal at that time. But, you know, Indonesia was not ready. The market was not ready because we monetize through advertising. But when we monetize through advertising, but nobody's watching or nobody's coming in, or, you know, the users was not there. So we failed in the end. Like, I think it only lasted about 2.5 years. We start closing one by one, and we didn't have any investor because there was no such thing as venture capital at that time.
Right.
No investor, and nobody believed what we're doing because they don't understand what we're doing. So we had to close the company one by one because it was separate companies. So it was not one company with all those platforms, but it was one company of each. Yeah. So we had to close each one of them, and yeah, it was a big wake-up call because it was our own money, and we totally lost everything because nothing can be safe. Nobody understand at that time. It was just too early. I mean, we get a lot of like, we have to fire people. That was not easy. You know, that's not the fun part of being. I mean, not the fun part of being an entrepreneur is firing people, right? So, but I think that what shaped me today as an entrepreneur, because I learned a lot from that process. Just so many new lessons to be learned at that time. So for me, I realized that failure is actually an asset for you.
Is an asset?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
what's the how is that?
So it's an asset because of that failure, you learn, you have lessons, you realize things that you never know before. So it becomes your asset, and it can shape you to be, like I said, to become a better person, and shape you to be better at the game, whatever game you're doing, like whatever that you're doing. So it's definitely an asset. You shouldn't see it as the opposite of success, but it should be something that is an extension of what you're doing. So,
okay. That's new. when you said that a failure can be our asset, because we learn and we know something that we didn't know before. Even we didn't realize.
Yes.
We didn't go through that process.
Yes.
Do you think that people are afraid of being failure?
Yes, because I think failure is, people always tend to when they say the word failure, is something negative, right? It's a mindset as well. Entrepreneurship is also a mindset game. Once you have this mindset that failure is not negative, but something positive, like I said, could be your asset, then you have this new point of view, right?
Perspective.
Yes.
Unlock things that we didn't know before.
And that way, you feel like lighter, right? Because, okay, I failed, I need to get up.
Wow.
Yeah.
True.
You cannot just cry the whole month because you failed. But you just get up, and then you realize, because I did this, it failed. So I'm not going to do that again, right? So you have to have this mindset. And, I think after all the journey I went through, I mean, my failures probably not only that, and a lot, just a lot. So once you're an entrepreneur, you go up and down, right?
Yeah.
So through the journey, you realize that you have to embrace your failure, make it part of you, instead of making it your enemy, make it your partner, your business partner.
Yeah, yeah, because success comes with the failure.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Vice versa.
It always there's always a two sides in one thing, right?
Yeah.
So what's your take on the role of failure in entrepreneurship?
So like I want to always tell because I mentor a lot of entrepreneurs now. I always tell them, don't be afraid to fail. Because if you haven't failed, I don't think you're an entrepreneur yet. Because, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, don't tell me that you're always successful because you don't learn anything at the end of the day. I mean, like, but there's no way that you can be just successful.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just part of the equation where if you want to be successful at something, you need to be failing at something first because you have to learn to make sure that you don't do that mistake again.
Something that we have to learn so we
Yes.
don't repeat that the
Yes.
same mistake.
Yeah.
So we mentioned about the failure that sometimes people didn't realize that success comes with a failure, and then but the thing is how we get up when we fail, right? So why do you think that people are afraid of being failure, especially in these days? It's not about being entrepreneurship, but in our personal life as well. With the pressure of social media, we want to look perfect, and we live like in some kind of utopia. But at the same time, we know that fail is always be our bestie.
Yeah, like failure is always tied into like the outcome, like, and you're always afraid what other people think, right? What will people think if I fail? But I think nowadays, I always tell a lot of young entrepreneurs to actually, it's okay, share your failures. I think you need to share your failures because that way maybe you can help others to realize. Don't keep it to yourself because it's just like you share your success, but please share your failures as well. Because when you share your failures means like you're helping others. Maybe, it can help others not to do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just people afraid because they're afraid what others might think of them rather than that. But if we change that mindset, that point of view, that failures is actually a great thing to experience, even though it can be hurtful, but it is something that actually a great thing. If you think of it that way, then it should be a positive thing, and everybody should just embrace it.
Yes. And then maybe it comes with the realizations that some people or most of the people are afraid of being failure, but also we are not brave enough to be vulnerable.
Yeah, that's true. We're scared. We're always scared that we might not make it. But again, you need to just surrender and just believe. I have this mindset belief. Whatever happened to me, it's for the best, for sure.
Yes.
For sure. No matter, like, maybe we see today, like, oh my God, this is bad.
Yeah.
But, if you switch your mindset by telling yourself, this is the best for you. Just watch an hour later, even a month later or something, that is going to be the best for you.
Okay, yes, so true.
Yeah.
And some of us, or probably most of us here in this room, are experienced that, and then, yes, that is so true, right, guys?
Yeah.
So
always
like that.
Yes.
So, Bu Shinta, in a journey, along your journey, you decided to wear a hijab, and then at the moment, most would call as your quote professional peak. What happened internally that people didn't see?
Actually, when I decided to wear a hijab, it was in 2014. It was like there was nothing dramatic about it. It just came peacefully, and I just surrendered. It's because what happened in 2014, we lost both of our fathers, my husband's fathers and my father. My father passed away July 2014. My father-in-law in April. So in 2014, in December, the whole family decided we went to Umrah. And I remember it was like, I think it was in the afternoon. I was with my mom in Masjidil Haram. And she was like saying, hey, not, why don't you start wearing hijab even after Umrah? It's just that. And so I was like, I just answered, okay, Mama, inshallah. That's it.
And then
That's it. Yeah.
things are as
So it's nothing like,
The
there's
rest is
nothing
history.
dramatic about it. And then I felt at peace when I was doing it as well.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so it feels good. And, you know, it was just between me, the love of my mom, and also Allah. That's it.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. So let's go back to the topic of failure. If we see failure as a part of the divine part, or divine plan, sorry, how does that change the way we move forward after a setback?
Yeah, because setback is always setting us back.
True.
But it's also for me, setbacks are opportunities as well. Opportunities because we, like I said, we learn our failures. And we have some kind of like the moment we just be quiet and try to learn what I've done. And then that's when also we realize what we can do.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's like so many opportunities, like, oh wow, I didn't think about that. Because I was so concentrated on this one thing and it ended up failing anyway. And then we don't see this other thing that is supposedly maybe better for you.
Yeah.
So that's why I think as an entrepreneur, once you have some kind of setback or failure, you need to get up right away. And then you have to have this fire in you, your passion, that you believe that something else better.
Yeah.
Something else is greater than what you're doing right now. And because you believe that, you know, like you know, my mindset is always, whatever happened to me is for the best.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the moment of setback, stillness, we find the clarity to some kind of resetting or recalibrating things that didn't work out.
That's
and
the
then
word.
What remain it is basically what truly matters.
Yes.
How do you personally measure the impact of your work outside the numbers and, I don't know, claps, the applause?
Like I want to see whatever I'm doing, I contribute something positive to others, can bring impact. So that's probably how I measure. So sometimes I get DMs when other women say like, oh, I started my business because I was looking at you. And so that's part of like, oh, I give an example and, you know, it probably help others to follow. And actually there's a story that for me that was kind of like quite something that I thought impactful, that I didn't think it was that impactful, is because in 2013, so we have this award that I've given since 2001. It's called the Boo Boo Awards.
Yeah.
Yes. So this Boo Boo Awards, we give recognition to companies that are in technologies, and 2013 we gave one to Toipedia.
Okay.
For the e-commerce category. At that time, Toipedia was nothing. Like, just started. It was an e-commerce platform. Hardly anyone's using it, but I can see the potential. So we announced Toipedia as one of the winner, and it was just 2000 during COVID. I was in a platform called Clubhouse, if you remember.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so everybody was on that Clubhouse. I was invited to a forum at that night about people who's been in the technology sector for more than a decade. So I came in, and then suddenly the Toipedia CEO came in, and he was like, "Oh, Bu Shinta, guess what? You know, like when you gave us the Boo Boo Awards, that actually gave us our first funding from our venture capital, which was East Venture, because they got because when we announce winner, we put them on the media, we give them highlights and stuff like that. So they become visible to the industry. And so they were invested by a venture capital called East Venture. And the funny thing, like maybe 15 minutes later, came East Venture to the platform.
To join the conversation.
And then, I mean, like he didn't know about Toipedia was saying thanks. And then he goes, hey, Bu Shinta, you know what? I want to tell you that, you know, you actually, our investment from Toipedia is coming from you, from the Boo Boo Awards.
Wow.
So that was like, oh, okay. So I thought it was just, you know, creating like an award, giving recognition, but it went more than that. And as you know, Toipedia kind of set the technology, I mean, the digital tone to this country, being one of the unicorns in the country.
Yes. Wow. So how do you see that? I mean, the chance that you gave to the Toipedia as a platform on their early time, and then they got recognitions by, you know, another party, and then the rest is the history. How do you feel personally, Bu Shinta?
Yeah, I mean, like I was very grateful hearing stories about that, because I realized that, okay, this is why I'm doing this, you know, right? And for me, it's not about the clap. I'm sure not many people knows that, right? But I like inside I was like, oh my God, I did more than that, you know, just creating an award, you know. Because usually when we do the award, we have also like a conference. So we created one of the first tech conferences in Indonesia. We invited big names, like we had like the CEO of Facebook, we had, you know, director of Google came and spoke at our event. But, you know, stories like what Toipedia and East Venture shared is just, that's the reason why I'm doing this. And if you ask me how I know all this, I don't know. Because I think, like I said, my stories I'm always too early for everything. I even built one of the first early e-commerce in the country. It was called plaza.com, and it became belanja.com at the end. Again, I mean, nobody was using e-commerce at that time. Then I started building one. So it's just probably, I'm seeing things a bit farther.
Yes, exactly.
But, you know, so, but I have to tell you, doing business, not on time too early, doesn't make you money. You have to be on time when you're doing business. Make sure everything is ready. So when you're too early, okay, you're going to be called pioneer. You probably get called visionary, but you don't make the money. When you have, if you start a business, you need to do it on time. You cannot be too late, and you cannot be too early.
Okay. Was it also can be implemented in every aspect of our lives?
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
True.
Yes.
Didn't think of that.
Exactly. It's right in time.
Yes.
Right on time.
It's God's timing as well.
It's God's timing as well.
Yeah.
What kind of influence, basically? I believe that you've seen a lot of young entrepreneur, and then especially female now leading in some tech company as well. I believe that you have some kind of messages or to them or influence. Do you think that Muslim women can offer one that probably soft and also powerful?
I think
to contribute more.
Being a woman, you can have that advantage of doing the soft power as well, right? Which probably men don't really have that.
Yes.
So take that advantage. You have it in you, every one of you. You can do it all, but you know, it's about divine balance as well, right? For me, balance it's not easy to balance. Anything about balance is not easy. I try to balance everything spiritually, socially, at the office. But then, you know, at the end of the day, you cannot just balance everything. But you just have to try your best. Try your best, and you know, we live the legacy of Khadijah. You know, and she was a businesswoman.
Exactly.
And she supported our prophet from day one. That's kind of like a balance of soft power, but you know, you have that legacy.
Yes.
So as women, we have that advantage. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
We can actually take care of our family.
Yeah.
We can build a company. We can launch brand. We can do anything.
We can be pretty
Yeah.
at the same time. Right, I think we can do it.
Let me share who is my role model.
Mhm.
I have my grandmother. She was the traveling ambassador during Sukarno's era.
Okay.
In 1960s, her name is Ibu Supani. I don't know if some of you might heard of Ibu Supani, but she was, for me, that's the reason why I believe that women can do everything. Because in 1962, I saw ads at the New York Post, I think. It was her leading 19 men at the UN General Assembly in New York.
Wow.
So,
Hit you at the core.
yes, like 1960.
1960.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I have her clipping of the newspaper
Yeah.
from Global newspaper. Because she's a traveling ambassador, so her duty is to travel around the world,
Yeah.
meet the presidents,
Yes.
which is like such a wonderful job.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm sure she has a lot of hates from others because you know, she was a
She's a
woman. Yeah. Actually, one of the reasons why she was a traveling ambassador. Actually, she was supposed to be the ambassador of U.S. for Indonesia, but she got death threat. She got, you know, a lot of people, I mean, a lot of men didn't want it, of course, because, you know. So Sukarno decided to give her another job, which was the traveling ambassador. So she ended up traveling the world and meeting a lot of presidents.
What's her legacy that remains in you?
I always believe that us women, actually the same as, you know, men, we can do whatever we want. We just have to believe in ourselves. The first thing you need to do is believe in yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in what you're doing, forget it. Don't even bother to continue it. If you have doubts like, oh, I don't think I can do this, then forget it. Don't bother doing it, because it starts in you. Once you believe, anything can happen. Allah will open the door.
Inshallah. If success had a tagline, what's yours?
Tagline is definitely learning by doing. Yeah. I learned that it's not only about schools, but you just have to go deep dive and do it. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs like afraid to have failure, so they don't want to do it. They want to try to be perfect. No. You don't need to be perfect. Just do it and learn while you're doing it.
Thank you so much, Shinta.
Thank you.
It's really thoughtful.
Inspiring mindset.
Yeah, it's very inspiring, and
Alhamdulillah.
looking forward to another session or conversations with you, or maybe a class with you.
Inshallah.
We need a more women figure that can drive us to push ourselves, to be brave enough to start even when we fail.
Yes.
We are not afraid to start again. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, ladies, for
Thank
joining us
you.
in our podcast. My name is Shafira for Luminihsan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.